Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Jeff Grammer with the Albuquerque Journal, and I am here in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm at Resorts World right now, where the Mountain West Media Days just wrapped up, and had a good conversation with Gloria Nevarez, the Mountain West Commissioner, and so I'm posting today's podcast, episode 92, with Gloria Nevarez, talking about conference realignment primarily, and certainly basketball media days that just concluded here today. So as you can see the Sphere in the background here, we'll see what interesting stuff the Sphere does while I do this little intro and record it. But yeah, episode 92 today of the Talking Grammar podcast here at the Albuquerque Journal is Gloria Nevarez, the Mountain West Commissioner, talking about realignment. And while we are here for Media Days, let me go over real quick, and I'll throw a graphic up on the screen while I'm talking to you. But the preseason Mountain West poll came out today. I released my preseason poll online in the Albuquerque Journal, print and digital editions earlier this week. I also posted them on social media quite a bit. But here is the Mountain West preseason media poll. Nothing big surprise-wise here, but I'll read them off, just make sure I don't get any of them wrong. I think the biggest takeaway from the preseason poll was, while there weren't many surprises, I think one interesting tidbit was that 6 teams got first-place votes. There were 26 total voters in this year's preseason media poll, and 6 teams got first-place votes. Now, almost all of them, not almost all of them, but primarily all of them went to Boise State, which was the clear preseason favorite at number 1. They got 19 of the first-place votes. Number 2 is the New Mexico Lobos. They got 1 first-place vote, and at 233 points were easily in that number 2 spot. That is the 1-2 that I had in my preseason poll as well. Number 3 was Nevada. The Nevada Wolfpack, coached by Steve Alford, got 1 first-place vote, and they're in 3rd. Now, San Diego State, the perennial contender, interestingly enough, they're picked 4th. They got 2 preseason first place votes, and their players today talked about it kind of being a chip on their shoulder, sort of almost disrespectful that they got picked 4th. They've been picked 1 or 2 for I think 11 straight years or something like that, and while I get where they're coming from history standpoint, they did finish 5th last year, and they only have about 25% of their scoring back. No starters really back. Reese Waters is back and started some, but was also kind of a 6-man sum. So San Diego State certainly lost a ton of production off of last year's team, and for them being picked 4th, where I picked them too, by the way, I did pick them 4th, but it's kind of hard to have expected them to be any higher than that, even with history on their side. Number 5, UNLV, 2 first-place votes, and they're picked 5th. Utah State, 1 first-place vote, and they're picked 6th. That's the end of the teams that got first-place votes. Colorado State coming in at 7th, and they got 160 points. So the top 7 teams are clearly, based on the preseason poll and in my estimation, clearly a big gap from them to the bottom 4. So the top 7, while I'm not saying Colorado State at number 7 can necessarily compete for Mountain West title, I do think they are a good team. They are certainly going to be competitive. They're not going to be an easy out. And there is a big jump, I think, from number 7, Colorado State, to the bottom 4, and that starts with number 8, San Jose State, number 9, Wyoming, number 10, Fresno State, and number 11, Air Force. I will say that I had some disagreement with those bottom 3, the order of the bottom 3. I think Air Force will actually be 9. I think Wyoming will be 10, and I think Fresno State will be 11. But you can do those bottom 3 in any order you want, and probably not really much of a disagreement for most people there. So as far as all-conference honors go, 2 Lobos made the all-conference team. It's worth noting this is the first time in the 26 years now in Mountain West history that they went away from a 5-player preseason all-conference team to a 10-player preseason all-conference team. So there's going to be some more names. Most leagues have already done this. The Mountain West went ahead and followed suit this year. 2 Lobos that made the cut are point guard Donovan Dent, who is a Player of the Year candidate in my estimation, number 2 on my list in terms of Player of the Year, and Nelly Jr. Joseph, the starting center. And both of those were players comfortably on the all-conference team, as was Boise State with Preseason Player of the Year Tyson Degenhart, who I also voted for Player of the Year, and two of his teammates, Alvaro Cardenas from from San Jose State last year, who transferred to Boise State this year, playing point guard, and Omar Stanley, the starting center for Boise State, both made All-League. Colorado State's Nate Clifford made it. Nevada has just one player, Nick Davidson. I thought Trey Coleman, his teammate, also should have been All-Conference, but was not voted so by the media overall. Reese Waters, San Diego State, made All-Conference. Didon Thomas, the point guard for UNLV, the only sophomore on this list. And then Ian Martinez, graduate student from Utah State, is on the list. Like I said, Tyson Degenhart, Player of the Year. Got Newcomer of the Year, Kobe Sanders, the Cal Poly transfer, who's now at Nevada. He averaged 20 points a game last year, and we'll see what Noodles and Alford can do with him now. I think he will be a high-scoring guard for a Nevada Wolfpack team that lost Jared Lucas and Keenan Blackshear. And then as far as Freshman of the Year goes, this could have gone to a lot of different players. Three in my estimation, really. Could have gone to three different players. And the one who ended up getting it, Farrell Compton for San Diego State, a forward. Very talented, obviously, but I think his teammate's going to end up getting it in the end of the year. But we shall see. So that's the rundown of the Mountain West Conference media poll. A lot went on today. I'll be writing about it in the coming days for the Albuquerque Journal. But the main thing I wanted to get to you guys right away was this podcast, this interview I did with Gloria Nevarez, the Mountain West Conference commissioner, and talked to her about conference realignment, the big topic, obviously. Did bring up New Mexico State, brought up what New Mexico's position in all of this could have or may have been had there been an AD in place, and just sort of what's next for the Mountain West. Volatile times in college athletics in general, but the Mountain West is at the center of it all. So here we go. Hope you enjoy this conversation I had at Mountain West Media Day here in Las Vegas with Mountain West Commissioner Gloria Nevarez. We're at Mountain West Media Day, partnered with the West Coast Conference. First of all, an event like this, the importance of all the media attention. I don't know how much people can see behind me, but this kind of kicks off the season for basketball, obviously. What's the importance of an event like this?
It really is about getting everyone on the same page about what to expect for the season, serving the media, right, about telling our stories. So having everyone here kind of at the same place at the same time allows the media to get the most out of the Western Region basketball. This
2 years in a row here at this location, you guys liked it enough last year, obviously, to do it again. What do you hope the future of an event like this is? Is it again kind of joining with other conferences when that gets more media attention?
Well, Resorts World has been a wonderful partner. We had our football media day in town as well. It's very central to the footprint. And so really it's just constantly asking folks like yourselves, what serves you? What do you need? How can we serve it up? So that you can get a deep understanding of who we are before the season starts.
All right. And as we sit here today recording this part, for me, I've been here 2 hours. For you, you've been here a day and 2 hours.
Yes.
How many times have you been asked the realignment question in some form? It's got to be several dozen, probably is even generous.
It is definitely the hot topic.
Where are we at? I'll leave it open-ended to start and just kind of give you an open floor as far as where are we at right now with realignment and where the Mountain West stands.
Well, you saw that we announced the addition of UTEP and the conversion of Hawaii to a full-time member, and 8 is the number that you need to retain your FBS status with the NCAA. So we are currently at 8 full-time members in 26, and that's a good place to be, and we are going to continue to analyze the environment, and if there are opportunities that makes us stronger, we'll definitely try to capitalize on those.
All right, a little more specific, and I get the nature of this is probably going to be a lot of you can't answer, but I'll ask. When you are talking future expansion to enhance the league, are we still talking about full members? Are we still talking about football only? Are we still talking about basketball only? Or is it all of the above?
Well, certainly the first 2 editions were really about full-time FBS members to solidify that status. Now we're going to take a deep breath and continue to evaluate, and all of that's on the board.
How big is I know the expansion geographically helps, at least theoretically, will help a multimedia rights package, a TV deal. Does it help to get to the Midwest?
It's not a blanket statement that says, yeah, it helps to get into this time zone. That it depends on the school, it depends on
Sure.
the media market. So there's a lot of factors. And when we think about expansion, it's about fit and alignment. Schools that look like us, same priorities and mission and values. Certainly we don't want to be sending big squads over the Rockies multiple times. Football's the one sport, they play once a week, they generally charter, that it's easy to go coast to coast. But, you know, when you talk about full-time members, you've got baseball and softball that play 3-day weekends, you've got double round robin sports. So really it's a deeper analysis.
I guess to the question then, to follow up on that, about football being the one sport that drives all of this, we get, I know it's, you can talk about TV deals, and I'll ask this real quick. TV deals roughly 80-20 basketball, football, or is it even 85-15? Like, how important is basketball to a TV partner?
Yeah, I think you have it about right.
85-15 maybe, 80-20 maybe, 85-15-ish, somewhere in that range.
Yeah.
So football's obviously driving the bus on a lot of these decisions. And yet, as you noted, they are the one sport that probably charters. They play once a week. They might have 6 road games all year. Is there any talk at a commissioner's level or NCAA-wide about letting football finally branch off and just kind of do its own thing, and everyone else can return to a more geographic or traditional kind of conference alignment setup? Or is the cat so far out of the bag that it's hard to bring all that back in?
Part cat out of the bag, part decisions happening at a higher level.
Okay.
You know, and it's a blessing and a curse, right? Because the Western region time zones definitely are add value for us with media rights, but also there are just fewer schools in this geographic region. We don't have the density that they do in the Eastern Coast, where a lot of times they can drive.
Yeah,
or
a lot of bus trips.
Yeah, they can move around between leagues and not sustain that kind of, you know, our normal everyday world is an airplane trip away to our schools.
Is the blessing and curse part of that also in terms of inventory for football? TV networks need West Coast inventory.
Yes.
They need a 10 p.m. start. I know local, Albuquerque fans don't love late basketball starts, but there is some blessing to that where if you don't have a whole lot of choices out west, you guys then not only have a good basketball product and the good football product and that kind of stuff, but TV just needs some inventory at that time slot, so that does help a little.
And the time slot isn't overly saturated.
Yeah. I think that's where you guys and the Pac-12 are kind of going to go. I know not directly head-to-head, timing-wise, they need one real quick. You guys are about a year out. Is that about right?
We're going to the market about the same time. Both deals would start in 26.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm thinking in terms of they're probably going after it right now because they don't have one.
Yes.
But, yeah, you're right. They start at the same time, so this actually is a head-to-head pretty much. There's some benefit to both then media packages, I would think, to the fact that there's not a whole lot of inventory out west. And what is USC and UCLA, at least half their inventory now is going east. So is that going to help? Do you get the impression that is going to help, that the TV package you guys end up getting will be a good one?
Yes. I think we've always, because of that Western region time zone window, we've had a very robust linear package.
Yeah.
And that's been really special. Certainly, there is more competition in the market, but I don't anticipate we'll take a step backwards.
And linear, what beyond linear might there be? Will there be more streaming options or portions of the package that will be straight streaming and straight computer-based?
Right now, we have the Mountain West Network, which is free to the public. It's a wonderful platform. I think it's highly produced. It's well produced. And so that is also on the table potentially for monetization, but we already have that inventory being produced at a very high level.
And you guys can produce a full football game entirely, start to finish. All right, I will move on a little bit. The realignment caught everyone by surprise, caught the Mountain West at least somewhat by surprise, to the extent of nobody's totally surprised by any of this, I get. But how surprised, and I'll use the phrase, it's a loaded phrase, I get it. But how caught off guard was the Mountain West by what happened with the Pac-12?
When the Pac-12 imploded, we knew this was an outcome, a threat, a possibility.
Yeah.
I'm very, very thankful and grateful we had the opportunity to create the scheduling agreement.
Yeah.
Because that is part of what enabled us to stay together. So on the one hand, we knew the minute the Pac-12 imploded. On the other hand, you're never really ready for the timing of it.
Sure.
But I think Wasn't completely caught off guard, but certainly something that big catches you in the moment, like, here we go.
The scheduling agreement is one that if you look at the lawyers and the experts on social media, they will tell you that all these things get negotiated down, and there's no way that the Mountain West is going to get all this money that is written in these contracts. I will ask you, since you have a little bit more probably knowledge about this than social media experts sometimes, how willing will the Mountain West be in potential negotiations on exit fees or poaching fees?
I'm not going to comment on that. It's active and ongoing.
And as far as the future goes with current schools, anything affected before July 1st of 2026, will any of the current schools that are leaving, are they still involved in all the same meetings? Do they still have all the same voting access and everything?
So the current schools in the league, everything that's current business that impacts their experience or competitive experience within the league, they're involved with. Anything from 2026, I think it's June 1, 2026 and beyond, they have a conflict of interest and would not be privy to those conversations.
2 New Mexico specific questions, and I'll let you go. One is, as far as New Mexico Lobos go, Eddie Nunez has been gone since middle of August to the University of Houston. It seems
we should blame Eddie for all of this.
Well, don't get me. There are plenty of people that are.
I tease. I said that to him the other day.
Yeah. Oh no. I've told him. Like, you left right at a good time, and Dave Williams, the interim, certainly got the interim tag at a very unique time for that job. But I am curious what the role of an athletic director in all of this is, and has New Mexico been represented as it could have been, as well as it could have been through all this. I know that sets up an easy answer for, yes, David Williams has done fine, but what impact did UNM not having a sitting AD have in all of this?
None at all. Dave was engaged from the get-go, and by the way, this was a huge team effort. All the ADs were in it, communicating regularly, talking about what the future should look like. I think we have a lot of cohesion and agreement, and President Stokes, amazing. You know, she was our former board chair, but we talked several times a day. Every president was engaged, tracking the issues, advising, directing, and it was truly, I was very, very supported by everyone throughout the process. And New Mexico definitely had strong leadership through this.
And then the other New Mexico question I have, as an Aggie, New Mexico State Aggie covering the Lobos, New Mexico State is a popular school to be asked about in terms of expansion. UTEP in the same media market has already been offered an invitation and accepted, obviously. They will be joining the Mountain West. Is New Mexico State a school that is or is not on the table currently? How would you describe New Mexico State's role in potential additions down the road?
Well, you know, New Mexico State's always been on the radar and several other schools, like our whiteboard had started in 2023. We've been looking at membership the entire time because, like we said, there aren't that many schools in the Western region, so you kind of have to keep them all in your thinking process. So it's constantly evolving and we're constantly reevaluating.
Not on or off, then that's about as far as you in this position can go with that. Anything else you want to talk about the future of the Mountain West or basketball specifically, since we are at basketball media
very
day?
Exciting to get back to kind of business as normal. Think about basketball season. The buzz here is about what a great season we had last year.
Yeah.
Lobo's certainly a part of that.
Sure.
The fan base that came storming into Vegas for the tournament, I mean, it was incredible. We're hoping to have a similar experience this year.
Is the future of the Mountain West tournament is at Thomas and Mack? I noticed the memorandum of agreement just said Las Vegas. It is Thomas and Mack through 32?
Yes.
And then I popped in my head, of course, the MOU did mention the moving of the offices. I know that's a minor detail, really, but it was included in the memorandum of understanding, and I was a little confused as to why that was. Is there a reason that the office relocation was included in that document?
When I took the job in 23, the membership had already been analyzing moving the office. And we were very, very close to, we'd been looking at it. Our lease was coming due. And, you know, Las Vegas, Nevada, and Reno are kind of the central physical presence. And getting to Colorado Springs, since flights have been reduced, has been a little bit more difficult. So we've actually started meeting more centrally since we started, and it kind of makes sense. We have championships here, we have a storage unit here, and so it was a nice synergy.
Awesome. Gloria, I appreciate it. I know it's been a crazy time for you more than the rest of us. We're kind of onlookers. You're an active participant in all this, so thank you for taking the time to talk with us.
Thank you.
All right, I hope you enjoyed that conversation with Gloria Nevarez. Obviously a brief one, but with all the Mountain West Conference realignment and Pac-12 realignment news that's been going on, wanted to get her on the record with some of it, and much appreciative of her graciousness for giving us time to do so, with a lot going on and a lot of media pulling her in different directions here at this Mountain West Media Conference in Las Vegas. Again, went over the preseason poll at the beginning of the show. Hope you guys follow all our coverage, including Mountain West Media poll coverage and Mountain West Media conference coverage in Albuquerque Journal digitally and in print. abqjournal.com/subscribe is how you can subscribe to local journalism and support our coverage, help ensure that we keep bringing you all this coverage for men's basketball and Lobo basketball in general. And until next time, hope you're enjoying all these shows, first of all, too. Not just mine, but also Sean Ryder's for football. James Yodis is just killing it like he always does with high school sports coverage in his Prep Central podcast. So hope you're enjoying all of it. Until next time, thanks for watching.